My friends are my power. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go.
How's it going, guys, gals, non-binary pals, and nerds everywhere? Welcome back to Nerd Explosion, the weekly podcast are based on a monthly theme. I nerd out about whatever I want. I say I, but it's not just I this time. It's we.
Bienvenue, Power Bottoms.
Caitlin is back.
I'm big.
She decided not to be too cool for us and decided to come back.
Okay, well, shut up. I don't have a snappy comeback. We're recording at 9 o'clock at night on a Friday.
Yeah, and also, before we get too into this episode, I apologize for any weird background noise you may hear. My upstairs neighbors apparently have no, empathy, have no consideration for literally anyone around them.
Yeah, they're having a straight fiesta up there.
Luckily, we'll be on here by May, so y'all can get fucked. But either way, we are continuing our topic of guilty pleasure movies, and Kate said that apparently she has a good one for us today, because I totally left it to her to decide a movie to talk about. So what do you got for us today?
So I don't know if this is going to totally ruin your theme, but when you said guilty pleasure movie, I just picked a movie that I was like, this is what I watch alone in the bedroom on a Monday afternoon when I just need a feel-good pick-me-up movie.
Well, usually what I mean by guilty pleasure movies is a movie that not a lot of people really it's not a very popular choice among people, but it's one that you really like and one that despite criticism, you thoroughly enjoy.
Okay, well then
it's not necessarily a great movie, but it's one that you still enjoy. For me, the last episode I did, Kung Pao Enter the Fist. It's not a great movie by far. It's not a really fantastic movie, but it's still one that makes me chuckle.
Okay, well then I misunderstood the assignment. So
Mochi, it's your fault. I blame you. What the hell did you just do?
Oh, I just pulled my zipper down a little bit.
Oh. Are you breaking stuff over there?
No. So I guess I don't know. Do you want me to just talk about the movie I picked out?
Well, yeah, as long as you got a movie.
Brother Bear.
Brother Bear is a guilty pleasure movie for you?
Both of them, the first and the second, yes. The second one, I could see being more of a guilty pleasure because it was definitely not as good as the first. But first of all, you can't hear Phil Collins on that soundtrack and have a bad time.
Well, yeah, because it's Phil Collins. You can't help but
the man does not miss. Even in the heat of battle, he doesn't miss. He doesn't miss emojis.
Thank you for possibly shaking the whole microphone while you're giving your son some love.
You're welcome. But yeah, Brother Bear, I could watch that movie on repeat all day, every day.
All right, well, if we're talking about Brother Bear, should we read off some info about it?
Sure.
So, Brother Bear is a 2003 American animated musical fantasy comedy drama film. Say that 5 times fast.
And comedy it was. That shit makes me chuckle.
Produced by Walt Disney Feature Animation and released by Walt Disney Pictures. It was directed by Aaron Blasey and Robert Walker and produced by Chuck Williams from a screenplay written by Tab Murphy, Lauren Cameron, David Hosselton, and the writing team of Steve Bentich, I think that's how you said it, and Ron J. Friedman. The film stars the voices of Joaquin Phoenix, Jeremy Suarez, Rick Moranis, Dave Thomas, Jason Reyes in his only film role, and D.B. Sweeney. Brother Bear follows an Alaska native boy named Kenai who kills a grizzly bear as retribution for his older brother's death. The Great Spirits, incensed by the unnecessary killing, transforms Kenai into a bear himself as punishment. In order to become human again, Kenai travels to a mountain where the northern lights touch the earth, forging a relationship with a cub named Coda along the way. It released first on October 20th, 2003 at the New Amsterdam Theater, and then it released to the rest of the U.S. on November 1st, 2003. It had a budget of $46 million, and it made $250.4 million.
It was a banger of a movie, dude.
It is a really good movie. Let's see. The film was the third and final Disney animated feature produced primarily by the feature animation studio at Disney MGM Studios in Orlando, Florida. The studio was shut down in March 2004, not long after the release of this film in favor of computer animated features. Brother Bear was released in the United States on November 1st, 2003, to mixed reviews from critics. It received a nomination for Best Animated Feature at the 76th Academy Awards, losing to Pixar's Finding Nemo.
Oh, another great movie.
The film grossed $250 million and has a $46 million budget. A direct-to-video sequel, Brother Bear 2, was released on August 29th, 2006.
So let me tell you what I love about Brother Bear. First
I like
of all,
the Canadian moose.
First of all, Phil Collins. Let's talk about
Phil
it.
Collins did a lot of songs on the soundtrack, and by God.
Phil Collins is a national treasure, okay? Let's be so for real. That man, there is not one single song by him, movie or not, or just regular music that he's produced and put out or whatever. There's not one song by him that I don't like.
Yeah, they literally went to Phil Collins with this and okay, Phil, we don't need anything too crazy for this. So just tell us what you got. And then he just got in the studio and he was like, tell everybody I'm on my way.
Oh my God. So I fell in love with Phil Collins in my Tarzan era when I was 8.
Well, yeah, because now, a random thought when you mentioned that, I think Tarzan was the first time I ever heard of Phil Collins. I don't even remember hearing his actual No. I may have heard In the Air Tonight before I heard his work on Tarzan.
In the Air Tonight is a fucking banger.
Because obviously he was big in the 80s, with his own music, and then Genesis.
Billy, Don't You Lose My Number, another banger.
Billy, don't you lose my number. 'Cause you're not anywhere that I can't find you.
So basically, if a movie has Phil Collins as the musical composer or
Well, not anymore. He's done touring. His health is getting bad.
I just need you to know that I thought you were going to tell me he died and I missed it. And my heart
he's still very much
actually
alive.
fell into my butt.
He's still alive, but he said he's done touring because he can't do it. He's getting older.
Yeah, he's getting up there. What is he, in his 60s, 70s?
Let's see. Phil Collins.
I stand by the fact that that man is a national treasure.
Fun fact about Phil Collins, personal fun fact, we have the same birthday.
Oh, and
he was born January 30th, just like me. He's 74.
Okay, so yeah, I could see why he doesn't want to tour anymore. But
him and Christian Bale, I share a birthday with.
Oh, Christian Bale can kick rocks as far as I'm concerned.
Walking on my fucking set. Oh, good for you.
So anything that has Phil Collins in it, automatically I'm just yes, top tier. This is S tier entertainment.
Even if you didn't write music, you could put anything, any song. You could put In the Air Tonight in a movie and I'd still be this is the best soundtrack ever.
Because Phil Collins is a national treasure, and that is a hill I will die on.
Can you imagine just a new Toy Story film and all of a sudden there's a montage? There's a scene where Woody and Buzz are just walking and you just hear... I forgot how the song went for a second.
I know, I watched you.
You just saw me short circuit, Yeah, so Woody and Buzz are just walking down the street and you just hear, I can feel it coming in the air tonight.
Oh, Lord. No, I love Phil Collins. So that's number one for me. Number two,
said. Are we getting back to Brother Bear now? Actually talking about the movie?
Well, I keep trying and you keep interrupting me.
Yeah, that's kind of my job.
Number two is, like you said earlier, the Canadian moose. I need a movie about just those two.
I feel like mooses. They did a spin-off of just them.
Because I need a full feature-length film because they are so fucking funny. And the best part is, I think they were meant to be a little bit of comic relief, but they are so unintentionally funny for no reason. They're trying to be helpful and they're just not.
Right. They're literally there. They're they're the C-3PO and R2-D2 of Brother Bear.
They just keep popping up at the most inconvenient times for Kenai specifically. And you can tell throughout the movie he's just like not having it with these moose, and they are just not getting it. So that's why I love them. It's Phil Collins and the moose, the Mises, if you will. And then another big reason why I love the movie so much and why it's like one of my comfort movies, and like, I guess not really a guilty pleasure, but whatever. This is my episode. We can do what I want. The storyline itself of that, like the grizzly bear.
Obviously, yeah, the grizzly bear. Sorry, you explained it. I was just in my head. I kind of put together what you were doing, but go ahead.
So the grizzly bear, I understand Kenai. I understand Kenai's point of view, being upset that the grizzly bear, quote unquote, killed his brother. Right. The fact of the matter is, sorry. The fact of the matter is, the bear was not responsible for his brother's death. His brother died because he drowned.
No, the bear was. I thought the brother died because he basically fell to his death to keep the bear from attacking the other brothers.
He did, but
because the older brother was protecting Kenai and the other one, I forget his name, but he basically sacrificed himself to protect them.
He did, yeah, but Kenai blamed the bear, and it's not. The bear was just so. What you don't know until later in the movie, spoiler for a movie that's fucking 20 years old. You said it came out 20 in years old. 2003. Yeah, okay, so 22 years old. Ooh. I watched that movie so fucking much when it came out. Brother Bear was, I love that movie. Anyway, what you don't know until later is that the grizzly bear probably would have left the boys alone had Coda not been with her. And that's the thing that I like about the movie the most, is that it's very true to nature to a point. Like, female grizzly bears, for the most part, don't want anything to do with humans. If they see a human, 9 times out of 10, they're going to turn and walk away. Unless there's a cub involved. And she felt that her cub, Coda, was threatened, so she went on the offensive. Well, the older brother also went on the offensive, and they both tumbled over the cliff. The bear survived because she's a 2-ton animal or whatever. Yeah. The brother drowned, so Kenai then killed the bear, and the spirits are like, hey, wait a minute. You can't do that. Oh, yeah? It's not justified. So they turn him into a bear to be like, this is the life that they lead. This is, to teach him a lesson or whatever. And then I love the story that he, like, in losing one brother, he also gains a brother because of Coda. Because Coda is so young and helpless and so dependable and so dependent on Kenai, even though Kenai has no idea how to be a bear because he's a person, a human man. This is an adult man that you're looking at. But it's just the story of, like, first of all, I love a good character arc. And I love that the villain in the movie is kind of Kenai for the first half of the movie. Mm-hmm. And then he starts to kind of grow and change, and he starts to gain this understanding of, like, oh, okay, so it is hard out here. Like, being a bear is hard. And, and I think the moment where it changes is when they're looking at the drawings on the walls or whatever, and Coda says something about the monsters being really scary, and initially Kenai thinks he's talking about the bears, and so he agrees, and then Coda says, yeah, especially with those big sharp sticks.
The real villain is man.
Well, obviously. And then it's kind of like a perspective shift at that point for Kenai, because he was like, oh, yeah, I suppose from your perspective,
we're kind of assholes, aren't we?
That would be scary. Because mankind is at the top of the food chain. I mean, there's no doubt about that. But it's just the perspective shift, I think. And then when he has to tell Coda that he is the man that killed his mom, like, that would just... And then for Coda to run away and get stuck, and Kenai went after him. And then at the very end of the movie, again, spoilers for a 22-year-old movie, at the end of the movie, when the spirits are like, okay, you've learned your lesson, we'll change you back, and he decides that he's gonna stay a bear because Coda needs him.
Yeah.
Like, I cry every time.
I mean, so in the question of choosing the man or choosing the bear, the man chose the bear.
See, even the man chose the bear.
Even the man chose the bear.
Listen, I'm choosing the bear 100% of the time. I'll take my chances with the bear.
Going over this cast, we have Joaquin Phoenix as Tinai, the younger brother of Sitka and Denahi.
Yeah, Denahi.
Which one was the older one that died? Was it Denahi or was it Sitka? Sitka was the other younger. Well,
yeah, Denahi was the one that went over the cliff.
After he callously kills a bear, Tinai is turned into one himself to teach him to see through another's eyes. Take a look through my eyes. That's another song on the soundtrack that's fucking a banger.
Because Phil Collins don't miss.
Let's see, teach him see through another's eyes, feel through another's heart, and discover the true meaning of brotherhood. John E. Hurst and Byron Howard served as the supervising animators for Tinai in human and bear form, respectively. So I would love, if they're, because they got to animate a bear. So fun fact about like Disney animation, like way back in the day, like when they did Bambi, they had the animators, working on how to animate a deer. Apparently, at one point, they actually had the animators in a room with fawns, real fawns, for them to be like, oh, that's how a deer moves.
Well, and I know that this is, I think, How to Train Your Dragon is DreamWorks, yeah?
That is it? Yes.
I feel like it is DreamWorks.
Yeah, it's DreamWorks.
But I love the fact that they modeled Toothless after a cat. Like, fully brought a cat into the studio and, like, watched it move around and animated Toothless around that.
They kind of do that with a lot of different dragon stuff, like the Spyro games, Spyro the Dragon. They, at one point in one of the games, and, like, the most recent remasters, the Reignited trilogy, they kind of modeled his movements and stuff to be cat-like.
Yeah.
More on this cast, we have Jeremy Suarez as Coda, a cheaty grizzly bear cub who helps Tinai on his journey to, quote, where the lights touch the earth.
And cheeky he is. Coda's one of my favorite characters in the whole movie.
Oh, here you go. Rick Moranis and Dave Thomas as Rut and Toot, a comedic Canadian moose duo. They're based on the comedy duo characters Bob and Doug, which are portrayed by Moranis and Thomas. There was a song that plays on the radio every once in a while that my dad...
Also, Rick Moranis is egregiously underrated as an actor, in my opinion.
Rick Moranis and Dave Thomas, obviously they based these meese off of Bob and Doug McKenzie, who are a pair of fictional Canadian brothers who hosted The Great White North, a sketch which was introduced on SCTV for the show's third season when they moved to CBC television in 1980. That's a little fun fact about that. Also, Rick Moranis, fucking legend.
Yeah, I like I said, egregiously underrated.
How many assholes we got on the ship anyhow? Yo!
I knew it.
I'm surrounded by assholes.
Which is so funny because listening to him talk as which moose does he play?
I'm assuming he's Rut because I'm just going off of how they introduce.
Yeah.
Because Rick Moranis and Dave Thomas as Rut and Toot. So I'm assuming Rick Moranis is Rut and Dave Thomas is Toot.
Listening to him talk as Rut, fucking hilarious. And for the first...
They need our help, eh?
Hey, calm down, bear.
Hey, calm down, bear.
I'm not a bear, I'm a man. No, you're a bear. No, it's so funny. And they're just, like, the shit they get into. Ugh. And then when what are a buffalo or something that they're, like, draped across when they're walking?
I think so. Well, because they're moose, so it has to be something bigger than them.
Yeah, guys. Have you ever seen a moose in real life? Good God. They're like the size of an F-350.
Those things are fucking gigantic.
They're huge.
I saw a TikTok the other day. I guess this woman has a pet moose, but it was styled as like this woman was bringing her like a grocery delivery. Mm-hmm. And they're like, "Oh, I got a moose coming up, so I need you to, get inside." And gets this woman in. She pans the camera back over, and Moose is like right there.
Yeah. It's a female, though.
To this moose, this woman's like, "Excuse me, I'm trying to get my groceries delivered."
Yeah, pet moose might be a stretch. I think the moose just hangs around.
Yeah, just how the hell are you going to tame that thing?
You can't.
It's a mutant deer.
If a moose is running, I don't want to know what they're running from. Also, the fact that they can dive and swim. Listen, I will fearlessly come face to face with a gray white shark, but you're not going to catch me dead in 30 yards of a moose. But the moose and Brother Bear, very funny. Top tier.
Jason Reyes as Denahi, the middle brother. This was Jason Reyes' first and only film role before his death in 2004. So he literally
it was
did.
Sitka that died.
Yeah, so Sitka had to be the oldest one. Yeah, just Jason Reyes. That's kind of sad, actually. Jason Reyes, he did this movie, and this was his only film role that passed away in 2004.
He would have been... Sorry, he would have been a national treasure, too, I think.
D.B. Sweeney as Sitka. Joan Copeland as Tanana, the shaman woman of Teenage Treb. Michael Clark Duncan as Tug, a wise old grizzly bear and leader of the bears at the Salmon Run.
The Salmon Run?
Michael Clark Duncan, who was...
Quit telling people I'm dead!
Oh, that's who that was! Michael Clark Duncan. Oh, love him.
Sometimes I can still hear his voice.
He was John Coffey in Green Mile.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't recognize the name at first, and I was like, oh, that's that guy. Greg Proops as male lover bear.
Male lover bear.
Greg Proops has done a few things for Disney. I think he was one of Boogie's kids. I think either that or he did some voice for Nightmare Before Christmas.
Was he Shock?
I don't know. Let's see. Greg Proops. The only thing I really recognize him for. Oh no! So Nightmare Before Christmas, he was Harlequin demon, devil, sax player. So he did a bunch of voices.
He the one that called Jack Bone Daddy?
He must have been, yeah. But obviously, the only thing I know Greg Proops ever from is Whose Line Is It Anyway? Anyway, we got Polly Perrette as female lover bear. We have Estelle Harris as old lady bear. She's the one that's like, I lost my poor dear husband, Edgar.
Quit telling everyone I'm dead.
Sometimes I can still hear his voice.
So fucking funny. Quit telling everybody I'm dead.
Ooh, here we go.
And he's like, the best part about that scene is you can see him yelling in the background. Like, all she has to do is turn around. Lost my dear Edgar. So good.
Let's see. Under music, following the success of the Tarzan soundtrack, Phil Collins was offered the opportunity to compose songs for Brother Bear, as well as let him co-write the score. However, Collins explained, slowly the bad news started to trickle down that I wouldn't be singing it all. It was a bit of a disappointment because I usually write songs that I sing myself. While Collins composed 6 songs for the film, he shared vocal performance duties with Tina Turner, who sang the opening song, the Blind Boys of Alabama, and the Bulgarian Women's Choir, who performed the song Transformation. Collins' lyrics for the song were first translated into Inupiaq. I think that's how you say it. The performance was then arranged by Store co-composers Collins and Mark Mancina, and vocal arranger Eddie Jobson. Yeah, the music for this movie is just amazing.
Phenomenal, yeah.
And also, I gotta rewatch that opening song because Tina Turner.
It's so funny that you say that because as soon as we're done recording, guess what I'm gonna put on?
Brother Bear.
Hell yes. Tell everybody I'm on my way. Don't tell me what to do, Siri.
Before we close out this episode, should we quickly go over the sequel?
Yeah.
Brother Bear 2 is a 2006 American animated direct-to-video romantic fantasy comedy film, and obviously a sequel to Brother Bear. Melissa,
I forgot it was direct to video.
well, yeah, a lot of Disney sequels like that are direct-to-video. Melissa Etheridge contributed 3 songs to the film. In the film, the adventures of Bear brothers Tina and Coda continue. While the first film dealt with Tina's relationship with Coda, this one focuses more on his bond with a young human from his past, Nita. Because, of course, it's a Disney sequel, so it's gotta be a romance story.
Obviously.
Why do I feel like a lot of these, like especially back then, a lot of these direct-to-video Disney sequels, it's always about some romantic interest. It's always like the same plot. Maybe that's why a lot of them didn't do that well.
I hate to be the one to break this to you, but a lot of Disney movies follow the same plot.
Well, yeah, but if it's the first movie does that to begin with, that's one thing. But every sequel almost has the same plot. Like, they introduce some new character, and it's always a romantic interest. Like, think of it. Mulan 2. The 3, Ling, Po, and what's the other guy? Yao.
Yeah.
The 3 princesses.
Yeah, but that focused on Mulan's relationship with Shang, too.
Well, yeah, that at the same time.
That movie, also top tier.
Well, that's up for debate.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is.
No, it's not. That movie is so fucking funny.
Yes, it is.
I'm glad you agree.
Anyway. So the basic plot of this is that like there's a human from Tina's past that he's trying to bond with, but obviously it's a struggle
because she's supposed to get married and
he's a bear.
Yeah.
So literally, she chooses the bear too.
Yeah, she becomes a bear at the end of the movie.
Jeremy's,
and the whole time, Coda is such a fucking sassy bitch, which I love because he's not used to sharing Kenai, and now all of a sudden he has to, and he was like, that's gonna be a no from me, dog.
Jeremy Suarez, Rick Moranis, Dave Thomas, and Michael Clark Duncan reprised the roles, with Patrick Dempsey replacing Joaquin Phoenix as Kenai. So Joaquin Phoenix wasn't Kenai in this one, it was Patrick Dempsey.
Mm-hmm.
As heard in the first trailer, Jason Marsden was initially cast as Kenai before being replaced by Dempsey. So we almost had, Max Doof as Kenai.
I feel like he would have been a good Kenai.
He would have been a pretty decent Kenai.
Maximilian Goof.
Maximilian Doof.
That's another one of my guilty pleasure movies.
The end credits still note Marsden as one of the additional voices. Jason Reyes, who did the voice of Denahi in the first film, had died in 2004, and his character therefore does not appear in the film. So, because the actor died, they just didn't include the character. Which I get.
Well, yeah, because technically the girl was from his village, but it's like part of a different tribe, so like his family isn't really... I don't know. I don't remember how they explained it, but yeah.
Let's see. Reception of this. You might be mad about this, depending on your feelings of Brother Bear 2.
I am mad about it. I know it didn't do well.
Rotten Tomatoes give it an average rating of 5.6 out of 10.
Oh, that hurts my feelings.
Let's see.
I loved it. I liked the first one better, but the second one was still good.
I'm trying to look for... Well, there's not really any review here that's like, kind of be like, hey, this is... Oh, okay, never mind. Scratch that thought. Brian Orndorff from DVD Talk said, as money-grabbing animated product goes, Brother Bear 2 rests nicely on a lowered expectation level and is hardly an offensive affront to the first film. The texture and polish is deeply missed, but the characters are so strong and engaging and still entertains.
Just because it's true doesn't mean it had to be said.
Let's see. Negative reviews opined the film's use of cliches and said that the plot was subpar in comparison to its predecessor. Which, okay, I get.
Fair.
my god, you're actually gonna...
I said I was. I don't know why you're surprised.
Man, I was gonna do stuff. I was gonna do things and stuff. So I guess the last thing to note on Brother Bear 2 is that obviously in place of Phil Collins, Melissa Etheridge kind of took the reins on this soundtrack.
Because Phil Collins wasn't in... Did he compose anything for the second one?
No.
Okay.
They literally didn't ask him back.
Okay, first of all, put some respect on Phil Collins.
I mean, to
Disney,
be fair,
what are you
he
doing?
was probably doing something else.
I don't give a fuck, Keisha.
But any other thoughts on Brother Bear?
Nope, because we're about to watch it right now.
Oh my god.
I really am lucky. He does put up with a lot of my chicanery.
Well, somebody's gotta.
Listen, I shenaned once. You should have known I was going to shenan again.
Anyway, I guess that'll be the end of this episode. Stay tuned next week for a... I've got a good pick for another movie. I've got another good pick for a movie, and I'm sure a lot of you will probably remember what it is. If not, then you don't learn. But with that being said, I hope you guys do positive things out there. You know, love one another. And when the stress of the world gets to you, just take a minute to breathe. Everything will be fine eventually. You know,
Tell
you
everybody we're on our way.
You might have to grab a torch and pitchfork, but you know, everything will be fine in the end. But I've been Cameron.
I've been Kate.
And as always, we'll see you in the next one.
Nerds out.